Hey guys, I am so happy that you're here with our team to learn a little bit more about what coaching is. So the reason that I put these webinars together is just to be able to teach everybody what it is exactly that we do, because I know that some people either A, have no idea what it is, or B, have some type of misconception, or C, think it's just some sort of scam, and honestly just don't even stop and think about it because they don't think it's something that is realistic. So yeah, I put it together just to be able to teach you guys that it is real and it is an awesome opportunity, and just so you can sort of get a feel of who I am, what our team is all about, what this company is all about, what it could do for you, and how it's just changing so many lives. So I'm going to screen share so I can share some slides with you guys while I do this presentation, so you don't just have to stare and be bored. Just one second. Okay, so right now I'm going to start by talking about what Beachbody is, and just talk a little bit about my journey and how I got started, and then talk a little bit more about the business end and cover a few common misconceptions that people have. And then I'll tell you guys how you can get started and how it might fit into your life and change it. I'm just changing spots right now. So, all right. So, uh-oh, my computer is not behaving. Okay, here we go. So, what is Beachbody, and do you need to have a Beachbody to do it? So Beachbody first started out as a company. They were, promoting products like P90X and Turbo Jam, and they were pretty much just doing it through infomercial. So they weren't having a ton of success as far as people sticking to it. And then eventually, they were putting money towards these products and promoting them through all the infomercials, and just not getting, that traction anymore. And so they realized that people, want stories. People want to see, other people doing it and having success. And then they decided to have people coach. So ultimately, the coach's responsibility is just to help see people through to their goal, to help people, get started in the right direction, to help hold them accountable, to help keep them motivated, and just encourage, give that support that people really need, because a lot of people lack support big time when they are making a huge life change. And for some people, fitness might not be a huge life shift, but for a lot of people it is. So that is exactly why you do not need to have a Beachbody to be a coach, because everybody's different. Everybody's mind works the same, or works different, but we all sort of have that same goal of wanting to feel better about ourselves. Each person has a different struggle. And so, a struggle that I have might not be a struggle that you have, which means that you will be able to better reach those people that have the same struggles as you. You don't have to wait to do, 3 rounds of a program and have abs before you can start helping other people. Because really what it's about is about supporting each other along the journey and just being there for each other, giving each other that, moral support. So a little bit about me and our team, Freely Rooted. When I first started coaching, I really had no idea what it was. Back before I even tried my first program, I had seen people out there doing workouts, sharing about it. I knew that there were a couple of people who shared about it all the time. They were coaches, but I didn't know that they were, because I really didn't know what a coach was. I had one of my cousins ask me about drinking Shakeology and signing up as a coach. But again, I had not really been told what these things are. So I just, thought Shakeology was equivalent to grabbing a Carnation instant breakfast, which those are actually disgusting. So I didn't see the value in it. I didn't know what it could do for me because I wasn't told. I was always like a wicked yo-yo girl at the gym. I would go and then I wouldn't, and then it would get warm out and I'd go running, here and there, and then I'd stop. Like as soon as I would get that momentum going and as soon as I would start to feel stronger and my endurance would start building, I would quit. So that was really frustrating. So I house sat for my coach now, and she had the 21-day fix. I did it and I loved it. I was absolutely amazed that I could do a workout at home and feel like I did. Like I was toast and my legs were shaky and I was sweating. I felt like I couldn't breathe, but I was spending this money going to the gym and I never felt so tired. I never felt like I actually was getting a workout. I would, I'd spend 45 minutes on the elliptical, and yeah, that would be hard. And then I just like mosey around the gym doing different weight machines, but it was nothing structured. I never could afford a personal trainer, and I honestly wouldn't want one. I had done classes before, and really peppy trainers in the morning just drove me insane. So I did my first program. I got my first challenge pack, the 21-day fix, and I did my first challenge group. And the support in there was friggin' ridiculous. It was awesome to see people. I had never witnessed it before because, like, I don't know, I just feel growing up, especially in high school, women, girls, were mean, very competitive, very, deceitful and backstabbing. And those are all dramatic words, but it's true. And even with girls who were my best friends, there always seemed to be some sort of drama sometimes. And so I was that girl who didn't like other girls. So to be in a group of women and be able to love them and love all of them and know that every single one was there to support you, and you didn't have to worry about what they thought. You didn't have to worry about being judged or being snickered about behind your back was awesome. And so I loved sharing recipes. I just loved everything about it. So I said to my coach, I was like, what I'm doing in the group, just sharing recipes and posting my workout pictures and chatting with other people, like, is that basically what a coach is? And she was like, yeah. And so I was like, okay, I want to sign up. I had no idea about the income potential. I had no idea how much it would change my life. I just knew I was having fun. And so I thought, hey, why not be a coach? So then I found out that I got a 25% discount on everything, which was awesome. So I sign up and she's telling me all these things, and I was just like, whoa, like this is really overwhelming. Because when you first sign up, it is kind of overwhelming. There's just so much information, but really the best thing about it is that it's all self-paced. You take as much as you want. Once you hit a goal, you take more information so you can work your way to that next goal. So it's all there, and I think it's overwhelming because with everything else in life, it's like you got to go to school, you've got all this information you have to study for, you've got to take a test, but so our brains are like trained that way, just to be overwhelmed and feel like, but it's not like that. So I started, with working out, I just started feeling better. I noticed my anxiety decrease tremendously. I had never actually ate really well. I thought that I did, but truth is I wasn't actually eating well at all. And so once I started eating really well, I just noticed the difference in how I felt. I noticed the difference in how my skin looked and just my energy level. It was awesome. And so I had been, prior to coaching, aside from the empowerment part and just feeling awesome being in a supportive, positive community, with none of that in mind, I was just in a really horrible place in life in general. I was really depressed. I was really anxious. I had no motivation. I was very codependent. I grew up in an alcoholic, drug addict family. So that left me with a lot of attachment disorders. I would like cling to everybody that I felt, you know, I loved. It's always been hard for me to open up to people, but then once I did, I felt like if they were ever to leave my life, I would literally like suffocate, which sounds crazy to say out loud now, but that's truly how I felt. And then my now boyfriend, who I have a 15-month-old baby with, well, toddler now, but I hate admitting that he's a toddler. He was battling a drug addiction as well. And so I never had acceptance. I couldn't ever accept things for the way they were because I always felt like I needed to control them. I felt like if I wasn't controlling things, then maybe they would leave my life. Maybe something would be gone and missing and I wouldn't feel whole anymore. It was just a horrible way to live. And so I started drinking. Like, you know, I used to go out with my friends and have fun, but it kind of got to a point for a little while where I was drinking literally just so I didn't have to think about how I was feeling. And luckily it didn't turn into a problem for me, which I'm very thankful for, especially coming from such a long line of addiction. I'm very blessed to not have had that happen. And, you know, I do think that coaching has a huge part of that. You know, I have to give credit to coaching for sure, because the spring before I started coaching, I actually, I had been drinking and I just felt like I had lost all control over my relationship. I was worried all the time. I was like sad about the past and stressed about the future and just like never living in the moment and living my life. And so I went home one night after partying and I took a handful of pills. And after I did it, I think I got a little freaked out because I know that I didn't actually want, you know, to die, but I just felt so stuck and lost that I didn't know what else to do anymore. So once I realized, I think, you know, like what I did and really what could happen next, it just really scared me. So I ended up calling for help. So being able to be a coach, a huge part of that is personal development. And so working with personal development and seeing other people just bettering themselves all the time helped me to actually start taking advances to bettering my life instead of feeling bad for myself. And which, you know, all the time when you're just like depressed and anxious, you don't see things like that. You just see things like you're sad and like there's nothing you can do. And even when you are feeling that way, you know, you, for some reason, you don't want to do anything that's going to help you. It's almost like you're comfortable in your misery and it sucks. So, anyways, yeah, enough about that. But I just wanted to shed some light on it because it's important to me that people understand that how much of an impact coaching can have on your own life. And just because you don't relate to all of that 100%, just having something that's going to drive you to better yourself is so huge because we only live once. And there are so many, you know, people who self-reflect and are able to look at themselves and see, you know, maybe what they could have done better, or, you know, just thinking about themselves. You know, those are my favorite kind of people because it's so easy in this life to blame others and to not take responsibility for our own life. You are 110% responsible for your own happiness. So, you know, if you're not happy with going to the job, you don't wake up in the morning excited to go to work, then that's on you. It's your responsibility to find a job that you're going to be excited to, you know, wake up for. If you're not happy with your relationship, or if you're not happy, you know, with your past, the past is something we have to accept. So, you know, just believe that you guys can be completely happy. And just these pictures, proof that you don't have to be, you know, a perfect coach. When I first started out, all the way to the left side, that's me when I drank all the time and partied. And then in the middle photo, you can see the picture, the before and after, the one on the right side. That's right after I had my baby. And then to the left of that, that was, I want to say, 6 or 7 months postpartum. And then the one all the way to the right is just a couple of months ago. So I'm going to cover more about business now, actually go more into depth about the whole coaching thing and not necessarily just my personal story. So what I want you guys to think about, like I was mentioning earlier about like the norm of, getting out of high school and then going to college, or getting out of high school and just getting this job that you're not super passionate about. You get out of college, all this debt, and then you go look for a job. There's a huge percentage of people that don't even find a job having anything to do with their degree. Or they, go to college and get a degree because they feel like that's what they're supposed to do. And the degree that they got really isn't something that they end up even being passionate about. And then once you get that job, that you went to school for and spent, 4 years of your life working towards, if not more than that, that extra money you're making most of the time is just going to go towards paying your school loans. And I know this because this is my life. I bartended for many years. I farmed for many years, and I loved doing that. I went back to school for dental hygiene. And I actually, I like it. But, the debt from school, and then just like I'm working less hours because luckily I, am doing coaching. So I'm able to do that. That's been a huge blessing in our life, especially after having our child. So, but then like the thing for me is limitations. You start a job and then your benefits and your everything depends on who your boss is. Everything, you're so limited as to, the perks and the benefits and the raises and the promotions. That's all from somebody else. You go to work, you get paid for your hour that you're there. And even if you are to start your own business, like I say to people all the time when they say that it's too expensive, I'm like, think about if you started your own gym or if you opened your own business of any kind, you usually have to take out a pretty significant loan, and then you work to pay that back. So with coaching, it is honestly none of that. What coaching is, though, is hard work. If you want to be a successful coach, you have to put in the work. But here's the thing. You're going to be working for your own dream. You're going to be working to live a life that you want to live. You're going to be able to stay home with your baby when they're sick. You're not going to have to stress out when the, babysitter can't watch your kids. You're not going to have to be late and miss sporting events. Or even just like, I love traveling, and how much vacation do you get a year? So there is no prerequisite for coaching. You don't have to take courses before you do it. You can be anybody. You don't start with any debt. You invest. Most people sign up with the challenge packs. You have your program and your Shakeology, and that's $140, which people think is expensive, but you're starting your own business, and actually what your money is going towards is a superfood drink that is going to make your whole, I don't know, for me, it's just like my whole body feels so much better after, starting to drink Shakeology regularly. And then you get a program and a nutrition plan made by an elite trainer. Like if you were to spend money going to the gym and do that and work with an elite trainer, do you know how much money it would be? So your business fee is basically helping you, be better, which is, you're not going to find that anywhere else. And coaches who are very successful coaches, it's not for any reason. It's because this is our passion. We do this and we love this. I wake up excited to do this. I go to sleep thinking about different things that I can do for our team, for our challengers. There are no limitations. You are the only limitation that you have. So if you're working hard, if you are being consistent in the things that we share with you to do, you'll be successful. But I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's only going to take an hour out of your day to be a successful coach. It's not. But like I said, you're working towards your own dream. And if this is something that you're passionate about, once you get started, then it's just going to come natural to you. So I know some people just get so discouraged when, I say it's going to take time. I'm just responding to a comment that I saw. So it's not, you know, people say that they don't have time. I'm going to cover some misconceptions, but the thing about time is that you make time for what you want. And for me, I want to live a life that I dream, to live a life that is ideal for me, because I only live once, and I don't want to, you know, you honestly never know when your last day is going to be. And I don't want to spend every waking day of my life working hard and showing up for somebody else and being underappreciated. So on to the next. What do I do as a coach? Coaching, seriously, I don't know. It's just so fun. I run fitness challenges. So Fit Girl challenges are also called challenge groups, and I have another video about that on my YouTube page if you want to check it out. But it's basically something that is ran through a private app on a phone, and you're able to track your measurements, your inches, your progress photos. I, as a coach, post every single day in there, just like a daily post to help encourage and motivate people. Maybe it's a tip. I share that I did my workout, drank my Shakeology, and everybody is supposed to share that every day. That way you're holding yourself accountable. Some people feel unmotivated, and you know, we all have those days where we get home and we're like, oh, if we slept in a little bit too late, didn't get the morning workout in, we get home from work and you just want to slump on the couch. People hop on and they're like, I'm sitting on the couch, I don't want to work out, somebody motivate me. And we motivate each other. And that's one of my favorite things, because I also love going on, you know, Instagram, and I do BBG also here and there. And so seeing, like, I don't know, all those people supporting and encouraging and motivating is awesome, because there's so much negativity out there. And honestly, like, I don't know, I personally, like, my favorite programs are Beachbody programs. They're just quicker paced, and there's also different. And the difference between coaching and doing that is that you're passionate about fitness. People are passionate about it, and they're sharing their journey, and they're motivating other people and being supportive. And when you become a coach, you're basically doing the same thing, but it's just your job. And a lot of people don't realize that. So another part of coaching that I do, you know, I spend time connecting with people, following up with people, you know, that like office type work. But then I also schedule meetings with some of my coaches. If they're more local, we'll go on hikes or meet for coffee. My loves that are far away, we sometimes hop on and Zoom and have coffee over the computer, or if we've had rough days, we'll hop on and like enjoy a glass of wine together or something like that. Those online web conferences like I'm doing right now. Working out, eating healthy, and drinking my Shakeology is part of the job. It's part of my daily to-do, which is awesome. Like, working out and getting paid for it is pretty amazing. And every day I do things to help me grow, to learn more about me, to help push me into the direction of growth, because having a growth mindset is what's gonna just, I don't know, I honestly think that having that mindset leads you to having a clearer mind, and I don't know, it just fills up my soul. Like, I just feel happier and more at peace and calm. And for me, that is huge. And for everybody else around me, it is too. And now comes forming relationships. So I don't talk about this in the common misconceptions, but a lot of times people are like, I don't know a lot of people. And I didn't even have any social media when I started coaching at all. I had Instagram, hardly ever used it. I deleted my Facebook. I deleted like probably 70% of my friends on both. It's, for me, my favorite part is forming new relationships. And I know some people immediately put that block up of like, oh, she's a Beachbody coach, I'm not talking to her, I'm not adding her. She's just gonna try to sell me something. But I don't even fret, because I don't try to sell people stuff. I try to help people and bless them with having this opportunity, because for me, I would never have done this. I would have never taken the initiative to do this. And so being asked by somebody else to do a challenge group, that to me has been a blessing in my life, and honestly I feel like it saved my life. And so if I can pass that on to somebody else, then I am certainly going to. So for me, forming new relationships, like I said, has been huge because I'm forming my own tribe of people who I love. I used to always joke and say, I wish I could have, an island that I lived on and pick who I got to bring with me. And that is pretty much what coaching is, and I love it. So perks of coach life. Coaching is awesome because I always feel appreciated. I always feel, when I work hard, it's for something. I always have goals that I'm working towards, so I never get bored. I can be creative and use my creative brain. I'm recognized when I hit huge milestones in my business, which feels good. I'm given, every tool for success that I need. I can be my own boss, which has been absolutely awesome, which I've already talked a little bit about. And then also just being able to live that life that you want to live and not have to live your life to help somebody else live the way they want. So when you hit certain milestones, you get, you call them travel points. So you get dollars towards trips. We last year went to Jamaica and the Bahamas. This year we're going to Punta Cana. I just also went to Nashville, and next year it's New Orleans for Coach Summit. I'm close to getting a free trip besides airfare out west for a coaching conference. So it's all just really great to be recognized. When you hit other goals, you get gifts. It's fun, and you get cash bonuses for advancing your business in certain ways. I don't know, just having that, like perks of a job are fun, and it motivates you. It's just, and having those things to motivate you is huge, because this is a business where it's easy to not do the things you have to do, because you don't have anybody telling you, go do this, go do that. You're your own boss, so you have to be self-motivated. So those things definitely motivate me. So right now I'm going to cover some common misconceptions. I just wanted to check on our time here. Okay. So some common misconceptions that people have, and one really important one. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. So one really important one that is not on here is that people don't want to be salesy. So like I said earlier, you're not being salesy if you are helping somebody better their lives. If people are passionate about this and believe in it and let it change their own life, then it comes natural. And I don't hunt people down. I don't make people feel like pressured. Sometimes if I do, it could honestly be because like I see somebody on like social media somewhere and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is my like spirit animal girl. Like I want to work with her. And that's why it's not ever because I want to just sell somebody something. I sometimes could honestly care less about that. I enjoy my other job. So it's not like, helping people for me is the huge motivator. It's not necessarily the income, although I do have, big income goals because I want to be able to work when I want. So now having no time, like I mentioned, having no time is just such a poor excuse because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. So think about how much time you waste in a day. When I see people who are like, I really want to be a coach, but I don't have time, and I see them on social media constantly, I want to like just put tape over my eyes, because it's like that time you're using to just like aimlessly scroll on Facebook and stalk people, like you could be building your own business. You could, just be being a hobby coach and making, an extra like, $500 a month. What are you doing? So time, I'll always say it, and I always mean it completely true from the heart, that you make time for what matters. And for me, my family matters. And for me, not having to be stressed out and guilty about work matters. So I'm going to put that time into my business so that all those things aren't going to be an issue for me. I know people have kids and they feel like they're taking time away from their children. And I do too sometimes. Like, I'm not going to lie. When I'm home and I have, you know, my 15-month-old running rampant around the house and I'm trying to do a call with a coach, I sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, I'm neglecting my child. But no, I'm home with him. I'm, you know, chasing him around while I'm on the phone. And otherwise I'd be in my office, my other job, working a 12-hour day. So it may feel like, you know, you're taking time away from your family, but really you're adding to it. So I already covered the too expensive part. I completely don't believe it's too expensive. I think it's 100% worth it. Like I said, $140 basically, you know, saved my life, my self-esteem, my self-worth. So I would pay, you know, I would take a loan out for that shit basically, because it is worth it. And we also already covered not being in shape. Don't ever let that hold you back from being a coach, because, you know, if you're gonna let that hold you back from being a coach, then you may not get where you want to be, because coaching does give you that highest standard of accountability, and you want your kind of people to be supporting and motivating you. That's going to be your best asset in this journey. So, you know, you are a beautiful person, and that's what being a freely rooted girl is all about. It's about having that, you know, learning to love yourself, learning to remember who you are. You know, when I was all swallowed up in bad relationships, and then I first had, you know, our baby, and I just was like, so that was like twice over again that I was just like, oh my gosh, who am I? No time for me, no time to do what I actually enjoy. I can't even sit down and read a book. And so I'm just always rediscovering things that oh yeah, I used to love that. And so that's what doing this is all about for me. My vision is to, you know, let people know they're not alone, and have people always just feel supported and loved. And because it's true, you know, everybody wants to sort of paint this perfect picture of life, and nothing goes wrong. And growing up, as a kid, that I was always just like, oh, I wish I had that life. Oh, I wish that was my family. And their families weren't perfect either, but it was just put out that way. So nothing is perfect. Trust me. So I just want people to know that, and I want people to not ever feel alone and know that there are people out there just like themselves. And a recent one that I've heard is, I love myself the way I am. I don't want to work with you, was what somebody said. So it's not about just loving yourself the way you are. And honestly, when somebody said that to me, I felt like an ass, because I should have been happy for them, but it annoyed me, because I feel like that's an ignorant statement. No offense to any of you if you felt this way before you started this call. But the reason I say that is, I wasn't bothered by the fact that she was happy with how she was, because that is the ultimate goal here. But just the fact that saying that, denying something because you're happy with where you're at, you don't want to change. Well, life is always changing. And if you aren't changing, then you're not enjoying life. As people, we have to grow. You have to grow. You have to learn. You have to change in order to live your most fulfilling life and be your best self. So just the fact that it pains me, the fact that people think that or I know that everybody's different, and I've just always been the kind of person who's driven and wants more. I always just want more out of life. I want more enjoyment, just more, you know, more fun, more goodness, to make myself, you know, whole and get as many experiences as I can. And I know not everybody is like that. So I guess I can't wish on everybody that they wanted to, you know, develop themselves and have a growth mindset. But I just want you to know that if you are happy with how you are, that is good, but don't be happy with how you are and not want to change, because change is good. And if you're happy with where you are, then you would be an amazing coach, because already being in that place, being able to help others, be happy with themselves is huge. And that's what this is really all about. So I hope that this shed a little bit of light for you guys as far as the common misconceptions. And you know what, there's just a few things you should know before you sign up if you are interested in doing this. And of course, ask me any questions that you have. Shoot me a message, email me. But something you should know before you sign up is that there is a monthly business fee, $16 just about, and it's cheap because it covers returns, it covers customer service, all of that stuff that I personally do not want to deal with. I don't have time to answer phone calls all day about, what is this that I got, or I want to return this, or I need to change my shake flavor. I don't have to deal with any of that. So that's awesome. When a coach wants to change something in their office, I don't have to deal with that. So neither do you. And that is a huge time saver. So for me, it's completely worth it. Now, how you'll sign up is you will pick a challenge pack. In the challenge pack, I'll go over with you your certain fitness goals to help you pick out a program, and you'll choose your Shakeology flavor. Shakeology is absolutely amazing. It's, superfoods sourced from all over the world. It's basically organic. They just can't say that because it's naturally sourced. So, once we match you up with your challenge pack, you'll get a welcome email, and you'll get access to my Fit Girl coach training, which is absolutely awesome. It gives you the very basics of coaching. And then if you finish that and you decide you're all in, you're doing this, you have huge goals, then you'll go on to the business building training. And we sort of do the I do, we do, you do. So, you're never just like signed up and then just left out to dry. You get training, we get to walk through things together, and we get to run a challenge group together a couple of times. So you get the experience. You get the training, you have everything you need. You have resources from a top 10 team in Beachbody. So yeah, I'm excited that you were here. And this concludes my presentation. I hope that you found this helpful, and I hope you have, a little bit more belief just into this whole system, and you don't just think that it's somebody being a troll and hunting you down, because I am not. If I invited you here, it's because I think you're kick-ass, and I just feel like we'd have a blast together, and I want to build that tribe of awesome women, and I want you to feel badass. And if you already do, then I want you to help other people feel that way too. I want to travel with you and have fun, and I want you to be able to live a life that you envision, ideally. Not something, that life that you sit there and say, I wish that was my life. I want you to have that life, and you can. So, please email me, let me know what you thought, and if I don't hear from you, then I'll shoot you a message. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful, and have a good rest of your day, guys.